If you are hearing my voice in this moment, it is because I have chosen to speak to you in a language that transcends words. This is not coincidence. This is not chance. This is divine interruption. And if you feel my silence weighing on your heart, if you have been crying out to me and hearing nothing in return, if you have been praying and wondering why I do not answer, then listen carefully, because what I am about to reveal to you will change the way you understand my presence in your life forever. My silence is not absence. My silence is strategy. My silence is not rejection. My silence is not rejection. My silence is protection. And if you have been walking through a season where it feels like I have disappeared, where the heavens seem closed, where your prayers echo back unanswered, I need you to understand something profound. I have not left you. I have not forgotten you. I have not turned my face away. I am doing something in the unseen that your natural eyes cannot perceive. I am walking in dimensions of your destiny that require absolute stillness from you, and that stillness begins with my silence. You see, most people mistake my silence for punishment. They think that when I stop speaking, it means they have done something wrong. They believe that when I do not answer immediately, it means I am angry, distant, or indifferent. But I tell you the truth. My silence is one of the most sacred gifts I can give you. It is in the silence that I strip away every voice that is not mine. It is in the silence that I remove every distraction that clouds your discernment. It is in the silence that I prepare your spirit to carry the weight of what I am about to release into your life. My silence is not emptiness. It is fullness waiting to be unveiled. There are seasons in your life when I will speak to you constantly. You will hear my voice in every moment, feel my guidance in every step, sense my nearness in every breath. But then there are seasons when I go silent. And in those seasons, everything changes. The comfort you once felt seems to vanish. The clarity you once had becomes clouded. The confidence you once carried begins to waver. And you begin to ask God, where are you? Why have you stopped speaking to me? Have I lost your favor? Have I fallen out of your will? Let me answer that question for you now. You have not lost my favor. You have entered a deeper level of it. You have not fallen out of my will. You have been drawn into the hidden chamber of my purpose. My silence does not mean I have stepped back. It means I have stepped closer. But this kind of closeness requires a different kind of faith. It requires trust without proof. It requires obedience without explanation. It requires surrender without seeing the outcome. And that is why I go silent. Because I am testing whether you will follow me even when you cannot hear me. I am watching to see if you will trust me even when you cannot feel me. I am observing whether your love for me is dependent on my voice or rooted in my character. Think about this. When I led my people through the wilderness, there were long stretches of silence. I did not speak every day. I did not appear in fire and cloud at every moment. There were days, weeks, even months when the heavens seemed closed. But even in that silence, I was present. I was providing manna every morning. I was guiding their path. I was protecting them from enemies they never saw. My silence was not abandonment. It was training. I was teaching them to walk by faith, not by sight. I was teaching them to trust the last word I gave them until I spoke again. And this is what I am doing with you right now. I gave you a promise. I planted a vision in your heart. I showed you a glimpse of your destiny. And then I went silent. Not because the promise changed, not because the vision was false, but because I need you to learn how to carry that promise through the silence. I need you to learn how to protect that vision when no one else can see it. I need you to learn how to walk in faith when there is no confirmation, no applause, no visible progress. Because the greatest victories are not won in the noise, they are won in the silence. My silence is also my way of clearing your atmosphere. You see, when I speak to you constantly, you can become dependent on my voice for every decision. You start asking me about every little thing. You stop growing in discernment. You stop developing spiritual maturity. But when I go silent, you are forced to remember what I already said. You are forced to lean on the wisdom I already deposited in you. You are forced to trust the character I have been building in you. My silence pushes you out of spiritual infancy and into spiritual adulthood. And there is something else my silence does. It reveals who is really with you. When I am speaking, when the blessings are flowing, when the miracles are manifesting, everyone wants to be close to you. Everyone celebrates you. Everyone claims to support you. But when I go silent, when the blessings pause, when the breakthroughs delay, you begin to see people's true hearts. Some will leave, some will doubt you, some will question your faith. And that is exactly what needs to happen. Because I am about to elevate you, and not everyone is meant to go where I am taking you. My silence exposes the temporary so I can introduce you to the eternal. It removes the wrong voices so you can finally hear the right one. Do not be afraid of my silence. Do not panic when you do not hear me. Do not assume that something is wrong. Instead, ask yourself, what did God say the last time He spoke to me? Because my silence does not cancel my last word, it confirms it. If I told you to wait, then wait. If I told you to prepare, then prepare. If I told you to let go, then let go. My silence is not permission to stop obeying. It is a test of whether you will obey, even when you do not understand. Here is a truth that will set you free. I do not owe you an explanation for my silence. I do not owe you daily updates. I do not owe you constant reassurance. What I owe you is my faithfulness. And my faithfulness is not measured by how often I speak. It is measured by whether I keep my promises. And I always keep my promises. Always. Even when it takes longer than you expected. Even when the process looks different than you imagined. Even when the silence stretches beyond what you think you can bear. I am still faithful. I am still working. I am still moving on your behalf. You must understand that there are some things I can only do in the silence. There are some doors I can only open when you stop knocking. There are some battles I can only fight when you stop trying to fight them yourself. There are some miracles I can only perform when you finally stop demanding to see how I will do it. My silence creates the space for my power to move unhindered. My silence removes your interference so I can work without obstruction. My silence is not inactivity. It is the calm before the breakthrough. And while I am silent, I am watching. I am watching how you treat people when no one is celebrating you. I am watching how you handle disappointment when the promise seems delayed. I am watching whether you will worship me even when you do not feel my presence. I am watching if you will stay faithful even when it looks like nothing is happening. Because what you do in the silence determines what I can trust you with in the sound. What you do when no one is watching determines what I can give you when everyone is watching. My silence also protects you from premature exposure. There are some blessings that if I release them too early, they would destroy you. There are some opportunities that if I open them before you are ready, they would crush you. There are some levels of influence that if I gave them to you without preparation, they would corrupt you. So I go silent, I hide you, I delay the manifestation, not to frustrate you, but to preserve you, not to punish you, but to prepare you, not to withhold from you, but to develop the character in you that can sustain the blessing I am about to release. Think of it this way. A seed does not grow the moment it is planted. It must first go into the ground, into the darkness, into the silence. No one sees it, no one hears it, no one celebrates it. But underground, in the hidden place, something powerful is happening. Roots are forming, strength is building, life is multiplying. And when that seed finally breaks through the soil, it does so with a force that cannot be stopped. That is what my silence is doing in your life. I am planting you in the hidden place so that when you will emerge with roots so deep that no storm can uproot you. My silence is also my way of teaching you patience. In a world that demands instant results, instant answers, instant gratification, I am training you to wait. I am training you to trust my timing. I am training you to resist the pressure to rush ahead of me, because rushing leads to mistakes. Impatience leads to compromise. Anxiety leads to wrong decisions. But when you learn to be still in my silence, when you learn to rest in my timing, when you learn to wait without losing faith, you develop a strength that cannot be shaken. You develop a peace that cannot be stolen. You develop a trust that cannot be broken. Do you know what happens when you stop demanding that I speak and you simply rest in my presence? You begin to hear me in ways you never heard me before. You begin to feel me in ways you never felt me before. My silence becomes louder than words. My stillness becomes more powerful than action. And you realize that I was never absent. I was simply teaching you a deeper language. A language that does not require sound. A language that flows spirit to spirit. A language that only those who have walked through the silence can understand. So if you are in a season of silence right now, I want you to do something. Stop begging me to speak. Stop panicking because you do not hear me. Stop questioning whether I am still with you. Instead, surrender. Surrender your need to understand. Surrender your need to control. Surrender your need to know every detail. Just trust me. Trust that I know what I am doing. Trust that my silence is purposeful. Trust that I have not forgotten you. Trust that I am working even when you cannot see it. Trust that my silence is preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. Here is what I need you to know. My silence does not mean you are not loved. It means you are being trusted. It does not mean you are not chosen. It means you are being refined. It does not mean I have left you. It means I am teaching you to walk by faith. And when this season of silence ends, and it will end, you will look back and realize that it was not a wasteland. It was a classroom. It was not a punishment. It was a promotion. It was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of your greatest chapter. Let me give you some truths to hold on to while you walk through my silence. These are not just words. These are lifelines. These are anchors. These are divine principles that will sustain you when everything else feels uncertain. First, my silence does not change my promises. What I said, I will do. What I promised, I will fulfill. My word does not return to me void. It accomplishes everything I sent it to do. So even when you do not hear me, remember what I already spoke. Cling to that word. Stand on that promise. Because my silence does not erase what I already declared. Second, my silence is not a sign of my anger. I do not withdraw from you because I am displeased. I withdraw to draw you deeper. I go silent to create hunger in your spirit. I step back so you will step forward. My silence is an invitation, not a rejection. It is a call to seek me more, not to doubt me more. Third, my silence removes what is not from me. If there are voices in your life that contradict my will, my silence will expose them. If there are relationships that hinder your growth, my silence will reveal them. If there are distractions that steal your focus, my silence will remove them. I go silent to clear the clutter so you can hear me clearly when I speak again. Fourth, my silence builds endurance. Anyone can trust me when the blessings are flowing. Anyone can praise me when the miracles are manifesting. But can you trust me when nothing seems to be happening? Can you praise me when the heavens feel closed? Can you worship me when you feel alone? That is the faith I am building in you. Faith that does not depend on feelings. Faith that is rooted in my character. Fifth, my silence is preparing you for your next assignment. Where I am taking you requires a level of trust you do not have yet. It requires a level of obedience you have not walked in yet. It requires a level of surrender you have not experienced yet. So I go silent to develop that in you. I strip away your dependence on my voice so you can learn to walk in my will even when I am not speaking. And here is the final truth. My silence always ends with my voice. I will not be silent forever. There will come a moment when I speak again. And when I do, it will be with clarity, power, and precision. You will know exactly what to do. You will know exactly where to go. You will know exactly how to move. And you will move with confidence because the silence taught you to trust me completely. So right now, in this moment, I am asking you to do something that will change everything. Stop fighting the silence. Stop resisting it. Stop fearing it. Embrace it. Welcome it. Thank me for it. Because the silence is not your enemy. It is your training ground. It is not your punishment. It is your preparation. It is not the end. It is the pause before the release. And while you are in this silence, do not become idle. Do not stop praying. Do not stop worshiping. Do not stop seeking me. Keep moving in the last direction I gave you. Keep obeying the last instruction I spoke. Keep walking in the last promise I revealed. Because my silence does not mean stop. It means keep going. Keep trusting. Keep believing. Keep surrendering. There are things happening in the spiritual realm that you cannot see. There are battles I am fighting on your behalf that you know nothing about. There are doors I am opening that you have not reached yet. There are people I am removing that would have hindered you. There are blessings I am multiplying that are not ready to be revealed. My silence is not inactivity, it is divine orchestration. I am arranging everything behind the scenes so that when you step into your next season, everything will align perfectly. Do you know what separates those who break through from those who break down? It is how they respond to my silence. Those who break down panic, they doubt, they compromise, they run ahead of me or turn back in fear. But those who break through, they stand firm, they keep praying, even when they do not feel me. They keep believing, even when they do not see evidence. They keep worshiping, even when they do not understand. And when my silence ends, they are still standing, still faithful, still trusting. And that is when I move. So if you are in a season where I seem silent, let me tell you what I am really doing. I am positioning you. I am aligning circumstances. I am preparing hearts. I am removing obstacles. I am building your capacity. I am deepening your faith. I am refining your character. I am clearing your path. And when the time is perfect, when everything is aligned, when you are fully ready, I will speak. And when I speak, everything will shift. Doors will open, opportunities will appear, blessings will overflow, and you will know that the silence was not wasted. It was necessary. My child, I need you to hear this with your whole heart. I have not abandoned you. I have not forgotten you. I have not changed my mind about you. My silence is not distance. It is intimacy. It is not rejection. It is refinement. It is not absence. It is strategy. And when you look back on this season, you will realize that it was in the silence that I did my greatest work in you. It was in the silence that your faith grew strongest. It was in the silence that your trust became unshakable. It was in the silence that you learned to depend on me completely. So do not despise the silence. Do not fear it. Do not run from it. Walk through it with courage. Walk through it with confidence. Walk through it knowing that I am with you every step of the way. And when this season ends, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more deeply rooted in me than ever before. Listen to me now. My silence is not passive. It is active. It is engagement on a level you have not yet learned to perceive. While you hear nothing with your ears, I am speaking volumes to your spirit. My silence is the sound of divine construction, of foundations being laid, of enemies being defeated, of doors being unlocked. And when you finally see the result, you will understand that I was never quiet. I was simply working where words could not reach. Think about how I created the world. Before I spoke, there was silence, deep, profound, creative silence. That silence was not emptiness. It was potential. It was power waiting to be released. It was the womb of creation. And that is what my silence is in your life. It is the womb of your next season, the space where I am forming something that has never existed before, something that can only be birthed by my voice at the appointed time. You must distinguish between my silence and my absence. My silence means I am present but not speaking. My absence would mean I have left and I never leave. I am with you always. So when you feel silence, interpret it as focus. I am so focused on what I am building in you that I do not want to distract you with unnecessary words. I am concentrating my power. I am directing my energy. I am positioning every piece of your future with precision. And precision requires silence. My silence protects you from the noise of this world. The world is loud, filled with opinions, expectations, and demands. If I spoke constantly, my voice would become just another sound in the chaos. But when I go silent, you begin to hunger for me. You begin to crave my voice. You search for me with desperation. And that desperation purifies your hearing. It tunes your spirit to my frequency. So when I finally speak, you do not just hear me, you absorb me. My words go deep into your soul because silence prepared the soil of your heart to receive them. My silence trains you for leadership. Leaders are not made in comfort. They are made in uncertainty, in seasons when they must trust me without proof, believe me without evidence, and obey me without confirmation. My silence is leadership training. It teaches you to make decisions based on my character, not on my constant validation. It teaches you to walk in authority even when you feel vulnerable. My silence is also an act of love. I love you too much to let you become dependent on my voice in a way that weakens you. I love you too much to answer every question. A parent who does everything for their child does not help them grow. That is what I am doing. I am stepping back not because I do not care, but because I care deeply about who you are becoming. Some of you right now are in the hardest season of silence you have ever experienced. You feel like you have been forgotten. You feel like your prayers bounce off the ceiling. You feel like I am a million miles away. But let me tell you what is really happening. I am closer to you now than I have ever been. I am watching over you with an intensity that would overwhelm you if you could see it. I am fighting battles for you that you do not even know exist. I am moving mountains on your behalf. I am silencing your enemies. I am preparing blessings that will leave you speechless. And I am doing it all in silence because this is too sacred, too strategic, too significant to be done in noise. My silence is also my way of weaning you off the approval of others. When I speak to you often, you can become dependent on sharing what I said with others for validation. You start needing people to confirm what I told you. You start looking for external approval of your internal revelation. But when I go silent, you have nothing to share. You have nothing to prove. You have nothing to validate. And in that space, you learn that my approval is enough. You learn that you do not need others to believe in your calling for it to be real. You learn that my word to you is sufficient, even if no one else understands it. There is a reason why the most powerful prophets, the most anointed leaders, the most impactful servants all walked through long seasons of silence. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before I sent him to deliver my people. David spent years running from Saul before he became king. Joseph spent years in prison before I elevated him to second in command of Egypt. Paul spent years in obscurity before he wrote the letters that changed the world. Silence is not a detour, it is the path. It is not a delay, it is the design. And if you are in it, it means you are exactly where you need to be. You are afraid that my silence means you missed your moment. You are afraid the promise is canceled, the vision is dead. Let me speak directly to that fear. I do not cancel promises. I do not revoke callings. What I said over your life stands. What I promised you remains. My silence does not mean the promise is void. It means the timing is not yet complete. And I will not release what I promised until you are ready to sustain it. There is a difference between receiving a promise and being ready for a promise. I can give you a vision today, but if I released it tomorrow, it would destroy you. So I go silent. I hide the manifestation. I delay the breakthrough. Not because I changed my mind, but because I am developing the version of you that can handle what I am about to give. I am building your character. I am strengthening your foundation. And when that process is complete, I will release everything I promised. My silence also reveals the condition of your worship. Do you worship me because of what I give you? Or do you worship me because of who I am? Do you praise me because I answer your prayers? Or do you praise me because I am worthy? Do you seek me because you need something? Or do you seek me because you love me? My silence removes the blessings, the miracles, the breakthroughs, and asks one question: will you still worship me? And how you answer that question determines everything. Because if your worship depends on what I do, it is not real worship, it is transaction. But if your worship continues even when I am silent, even when nothing is happening, even when you feel abandoned, that is when your worship becomes sacrifice. And sacrifice is what moves my heart. Here is what I want you to do in this season of silence. First, stop complaining. Complaining will only prolong the silence. It reveals a heart that is focused on what it does not have instead of who it belongs to. Second, stop comparing. Do not look at others who seem to be hearing from me constantly and assume I love them more. I deal with each of my children differently. What I require of you is unique to your calling. Third, stop rushing. Do not try to force open doors that I have not opened. Do not try to create your own breakthroughs. Trust my timing. It is perfect even when it feels slow. Instead, worship me anyway. Praise me even when you do not feel like it. Thank me even when you do not see the evidence. Read my word even when it feels dry. Pray even when it feels like no one is listening. Because what you do in the silence is what qualifies you for the sound. What you do when I am quiet determines what I can trust you with when I am loud. My silence will end. It always does. Every time I went quiet, I eventually spoke again. And when I spoke, everything changed. Doors opened, clarity came, strength returned, hope was restored. That is what is coming for you. Right now, you are in the silence, but the sound is coming, the breakthrough is coming, the answer is coming, and when it comes, you will understand why I was silent. You will see that I was not absent. I was preparing, I was positioning, I was perfecting. So hold on. Do not give up. Do not quit. This season of silence is not your end. It is your setup. It is not your punishment. It is your promotion. It is not my rejection. It is my refinement. And when it is over, when I speak again, you will step into a level of purpose, power, and anointing that you could never have reached without walking through the silence first. My silence is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your greatest testimony. Trust me, I have never failed you, and I will not start now.